Hi guys, it's Macleod here, and I wanted to spend just a little bit of time talking about one of, if not the most weirdest, strangest, and craziest train journey I have ever had in my life, and I've been on quite a few trains in my time. So basically, I went home over Easter for 2 weeks, back to my family in Norfolk. That time came to an end today, and I got the train from Norwich, just over here, to Nottingham over here. It's about a 2.5 hour train journey. I was doing it because I go to university in Nottingham, so I needed to get back to university. Now, my mum drops me from the train station, all well is good. I get on the train, I put my bags on the railing and I sit down. I have a booked seat. The train is packed, like it's heaving, there are people like standing up, there are no seats available whatsoever. But I booked a seat, so it was fine. I sit next to a guy who I think looks like someone I used to know from school. So instinctively I say, "Oh, hello, is this you?" And their name, I won't say their name, but I say, "Oh, hi, is that you?" And they just turn and look at me and say, "No, that's not me." And I'm like, "Oh my god, okay." So I have to sit next to this person the whole time. They weren't getting off till Sheffield, so yeah, that was awkward. So I spent the whole journey sitting next to a guy who I thought was someone who I knew from school, and it wasn't. And then you have the normal kind of train occurrences. You have the screaming baby down the aisle who is pissing me off. I have a kid behind me kicking my chair. It's all well and usual. There's lots of old people complaining, and then there's this family, a woman who's obviously the mum, and like 6 or 7 kids, right? And they're sitting in the 2 table seats in front of me, okay? And one of the kids, who seemed like one of the older ones, he sounded okay. So he was repeating the word Aaron over and over again. He kept saying Aaron, but he sounded like the guy in the wheelchair who Matt Lucas plays in Little Britain. For people who don't know, Little Britain is a television show that aired in England for ages, and it's basically David Walliams and Matt Lucas, who are like the only 2 funny English people in the world apart from Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and they basically take the piss out of England. And this guy sounded like the guy in the wheelchair. He was going Aaron, Aaron, Aaron. It was so annoying. It sounded like a seal, like a broken record. It was so annoying. The kid keeps kicking my chair. They get off eventually, and I'm like, oh, okay, thank God. The ticket person comes, and I give them my ticket, and they're like, oh, can I see your rail card? And I give them my rail card, and they're like, this is expired. And I'm like, no, it hasn't. It runs out in 2019. And they look at it and go, no, that says 2016. So I take my rail card back, and I look at it, and I'm like, no, that definitely says 2019. So I give it to them, and I say, no, look. And they look, and they go, oh, it is 2019. Sorry. And then walk off. And I'm like, for God's sake, that was ridiculously awkward. Now, I don't have any headphones on me, so I can't listen to any music and, waste any of my time. And then, literally, the single best moment that happened on this train ride happened at Peterborough, okay, which was probably the biggest stop between Norwich and Nottingham. So, some people have gotten off, and there's 2 seats spare, okay, and they're right next to me, okay. Now, behind me gets on this man and his son. Now, they're obviously from the United States, and I would guess the south of the United States, maybe like Texas, Louisiana, that kind of area, because they're both wearing cowboy hats. He has a really strong, like, Southern USA accent. And in front of me gets on this old lady with a massive handbag filled with, hard candy and whatever else old women take in their handbags. And literally, and I'm not making this up, the man is walking towards the chair with his son, 2 seats for each of them, and the old woman gets there at, like, the same time, okay? And they look at each other, and the man puts his hand on his son's chest and pushes him behind him as if to protect him, and he says, "It looks like we got ourselves an impasse." And I'm just sat there like, oh my Jesus Christ, it's like a Mexican standoff. He's got his 44 cocked and loaded, she's got her handbag filled with hard candy. It was going to be a bloodbath. It was absolutely going to be a bloodbath. The guy kind of in the end gave the old lady the seat, being polite and all, but he didn't look too happy about it. It It was pretty darn weird. This was literally the weirdest train journey I have ever been on. It was ridiculous. Like, all of this stuff that happened, it just, like, why was it happening on my train? It was completely ridiculous. None of this should have happened. It was all just ridiculous. But yeah, no, it was pretty damn funny. So I hope you enjoyed listening to this random story from my day, and I will speak to you next time.